Good evening, Warriors. Back with another episode of Bigger Warriors 2 and the 1% Club. Hope you guys are doing well this evening. I wanted to do another one while I'm sitting in a parking lot here and to kind of catch up a little bit on some of the things that we're talking about. Once again, thank you guys for the shout outs and thank you guys for the the donations and subscriptions and comments. All those great things. I appreciate those a great deal. I'm glad we're getting the word out. I'm glad you guys are reading some of the materials and commenting. It's great to kind of see that. And again, I think it's the key thing we're focusing on here is trying to become the best person we can become. And we only do that through things like our energy and keeping what God has given to us as long as possible. Now, are we going to have, problems once in a while? Sure. And that's going to be what we're going to talk about today a little bit. The streak that you have, and I'm just happen to be fortunate to be on a 940-day streak finally after all these years, but I had 47 years, at least 47, 48 years of problems. And this is going to be a topic we're going to talk about today. Amiral Islam and Shubham, you guys made some great questions and comments about what happens, how do you get back on track? What happens, how do you get back started again? It's not easy, right? This plan is very difficult in many ways because our society really plays against us trying to be masculine, and keeping our keeping our nutrients. I always see on the internet all these people talking about how bad this is and that you should be releasing and all this kind of stuff, and it just misguided souls, people who just don't understand, and hopefully they'll understand someday. But it's like anything else you see, right? People have these preconceived notions of what they think is real, and they also believe what they see all the time instead of trying to think about it a little bit and realize that, there's a lot of stuff out there that they thought was real that really is not real. And it's really always fun to me that the people they think that are, kind of saying the wrong things end up being right most of the time. And here's one of those cases again. We're talking about something where people are talking about releasing all the time. Well, that wasn't the case, for thousands of years. In fact, they tried to say that was something back in the medieval days that they needed to release. But once again, there was people who were celibate, and for different reasons, they didn't have a lot of people dying over the years. Yeah, they tried to relate a couple situations, but the bottom line really is, guys, that your natural state is only to be releasing, for procreation. And I think that's where the issue is. So the issue is that we need to go ahead and think about us saving our energy at all possible times. Now, let's go to the question. What happens when you release? Well, you're obviously releasing because you're very aroused, excited, and a lot of times you may not be able to control it. And that, of course, happens. We have these situations. This happened to me several times. Now, what do you do with this situation? Well, remember, the long-term goal is to become the best person you can become. Try to live the healthiest you can because you want to serve the purpose of your God, and you want to be successful as much as possible in the purpose that God has given you. That's a temple that He's given you. You need to treat it that way, in my opinion. And a big part of it is to recognize, okay, so, I released. That happens. What do I have to do to kind of get back on track? Well, first of all, it's a mindset first. The mindset says, look, this is a lifetime type of deal. I made a commitment to be a lifetime thing. So I make a mistake here in my plan. It doesn't go the way I want. All of a sudden I released. Okay, fine. Let's get back on track. So whenever something ever happens bad, what I usually do is try to follow it up with some successes. Smaller successes, that could be. Go back and take it 1 hour at a time if you have to. 6-hour frame, 12-hour frame, a 24-hour frame, 1 day. And go back and start your process again. Now, I know it seems daunting sometimes to do that, but the idea is you're going to get back on track. and take it one step at a time. Now, the other thing I would recommend while you're doing this is obviously avoiding those tempting situations again. Get away from the tempting situations. So a few things that I end up doing, obviously, shut down the internet. Don't watch the television set, right? Take some time away from that. Get yourself busy, whether it's a hobby you have, whether it's a work type of thing, whether it's exercising. Use that energy you have and transmute it to something else. And find yourself getting stronger that way. Exercise is a great thing. You know, even you're doing pelvic exercises, do some kind of exercises. Walk around. You know, if you have dogs, walk them. Exercise, weight lift, walk, do something. I try to get 15 to 20,000 steps a day. So I'm pretty close. I think I'm over that today. But the thing is, you want to keep yourself busy. Then the third thing is, if you know there's a certain period of time that this happens or this happened, get away from that. For instance, at night, go to sleep early, get well rested. You can battle better the next day. So these are the key things to me. And obviously, as you're falling back into taking cold showers, intermittent fasting, working out, all these things come back to you. You'll be back on your streak again. Don't think of the days. We have so many people talking about that. Don't think of it days. Think of this as a lifetime thing. You have now committed to have celibacy except when you're procreating to have children. That's basically what you're doing. Now, if you're not ready for that, as Kelder talks about in his book, then do your exercises and work yourself to it. I don't think I was ready for that because I had a tremendous amount of energy and I wasn't ready for that period of time. Now at 61 and moving towards 62, I'm a little better situation with this now. But honestly, obviously, I still have thoughts because I've had so many years of it. It's not easy to overcome that. That's why I'm going to pure monk mode to try to force myself to the extreme possible case. But you got to work it out yourself. It took me time to work it out. Not everybody can get it right away. But the thing is, you have to try to save your energy. That's why this becomes a lifetime thing. So realize it's a lifetime type of thing and start tomorrow again. I wouldn't even count the days, to be honest with you. Now, I do it, like I said, 2 reasons. One, I do it because I like to see what happens with benefits as I get longer into the streak. And 2, I do it as a frame of reference for the videos, so you guys know where I'm at. But obviously, monk mode, I haven't been totally successful because I keep going back to starting again in monk mode half the time. You know, after 100 days, 200 days, whatever it might be, I go back because I have thought patterns that whether it's in the middle of the night or something in the morning, and all of a sudden, I count that against myself because I'm being very hard on myself because I know what I did before. Now, some of you young guys don't have that kind of history that I got, so that's why it's something that you guys can kind of take in your own individual situation and see what's possible. But realize this is a lifestyle change, and you got to be ready for that. 2, get yourself busy. Find things to do constructively to get that transmutation together. Move it into something else. Complete a goal. Work on yourself. Try to get yourself busy. And 3rd, identify the situation where you're most vulnerable and work on trying to fill time with that or try to go to bed early, whatever it might be, to get yourself in a situation where you're able to deal with this and not let the temptation go through. So again, those 3 key points to me is how you would restart this whole thing. Recognize, don't beat yourself up. Don't be hard on yourself. This happens. Don't be hard on yourself. Realize it's a lifestyle type of change and just continue to keep moving ahead with it. Don't count the days, just keep going ahead. Secondly, get yourself busy, activities, hobbies, work, exercise. Get yourself together on goals and plans for yourself so you have no time to think about this other stuff. And then the last thing to do is find the time where you feel you're most vulnerable. Think of when this has happened. and take steps, whether it's going to bed earlier, don't go out to the bars, don't go out here. Find time that you can actually kind of figure out, how do I fill my time so I'm not filling it with this type of stuff, because that's going to lead you down to the wrong temptation as well. All right, my friends, a quick one. Want to make sure I kind of address this one. How do I start again? Once again, summary, 3 key points. Realize it's a lifestyle change. Start again, don't count the days. Number 2, find things to do. Exercise, hobbies, workout. Don't make women your exercises. Don't include women in this. Women will be there. And thirdly, try to make sure you identify what areas you have problems and time and those type of places where you're vulnerable, and deal with those things ahead of time so you're not back in the same situation. All right, guys, until tomorrow, have a great evening. And remember, every day is a new day to a wise warrior. God bless you guys, and battle on!